In this video of Fabric, we will discuss how can you load the data on your Lakehouse using Dataflow Gen2. Now, hopefully you have already, enabled the Fabric on app.powerbi.com and you already created the Lakehouse. If you have not created the Lakehouse, please watch my last video, which I have shown you how to create a Lakehouse. I'll just show you for remembrance that what I have done initially is I went to here on the workspaces and created a new workspace, and the new workspace which I created the trial workspace. Okay, when I given the name, it do allowed me. So let me give some name, and then I created the trial workspace. Once I created that trial workspace, which is 01 Fabric, I went there and I went to new, and under the new I went to show all, and in the show all I created on the lake house and I created a new lake house. Once I created this new lake house, and when I went to my workspace, I was able to see these three things created with the same name: lake house demo 1, which is lake house where I'm going to work right now, the SQL endpoint, which is the read only SQL endpoint, and the default data set where I'm going to have it. And we are going to see this now. What you need to do here is you need some data to load, and you can go to my GitHub account to get that. In my GitHub account, I loaded a new file, and which is named as sales data for Fabric XLS. Now this data is little bit different from video data. Is the only difference here, it is this data doesn't have any space in the column name. Now when you are loading data to the lake, it's not going to take the spaces in the column names. So that is what you need to take care, and that is why I have created this one where I have removed all the space, so you don't have to do it. Now to get this data, first click on this link if you know the direct link, otherwise I'm going to give you, and right click on the raw data and say copy link. Your link should look like here, this is blob, instead of blob you need a raw if you want to use it directly. So this is what you need to do. I don't want to have that download and upload stuff, so that's why I've done that. But I'm going to give this direct link so you can take that file. Now once you have that file, you go to the lake house demo, click on that or whatever name you created, and then you say get data and you say new Dataflow Gen2. New Dataflow Gen2 is what I'm going to use here. Now once I land, you will see very familiar Power Query UI which you might have seen on the desktop, and you have to opt for get data. Now this is little bit different from the normal data flow where we first used to choose what we need to get and then we used to get it. Go there and click on the get data and say more, and then search for web, and I'll opt for web API option. I provide this link and it will ask me if this link is already not been used, it will automatically give me a create new connection. I don't have to do it for it. Data gateway is not needed in this case. Anonymous is fine because my files are on Git. You will be able to using that, you will be able to get it. So now press on the next and let's see whether it is able to detect we have an Excel, and you can see that beautifully it is able to detect. So this option I liked it a lot, and recently in all my videos I'm using this option because in that case you are not forced to download it, and then you are not even in the search of on-premise gateway. So nothing is needed. Now this is the same data for those who are watching the first time. This is basically a complete star schema data with the sales table, which is basically containing order number, item number, sales date, the date on which it is being sold, the item which has been sold. Each order number is a single line order number, and date on which it is delivered. So basically retail sales data which is available here, sold on a particular date, delivered on a particular date. It delivered to a customer, the customer would be found in the customer table. It delivered in a city, the city would be found in the geography table. Then I have quantity, price, cost. I don't have gross, I don't have net, I even don't have discount amount. I have discount percentage, and it is absolute discount percentage which I need to convert into discount percentage by dividing by 100, or when I create amount, discount amount, I need to divide it by 100. So those things are missing which we need to do the transformation, and this is the place, data flow is the place where I should be able to do the transformation. That's what my objective is. Item table, as you can see, it is the table which contain item ID, name, brand ID, category ID, subcategory ID, brand, category and subcategory. Geography table contains city ID, city and state. Customer table contains customer ID, age, city, state and name. Now why there is a city and state here and how it is different? Customer can belong to one state and city. He can ship to his relatives, or maybe he is traveling to other city where he ordered it. So that kind of stuff is there. I have knowingly not bring in the date table, and I would like to explore the possibilities. Will we be able to create a date table in Power Query and use it, or how do we going to bring it? Those all we need to explore. I do have a script on the SQL server where I can create it, and we will explore that. We'll be able to create it in data warehouse, and can we bring it using the shortcuts. So we will explore all those options. Now you have to click on the check button. Those who are from the Power BI world knows that when we check only, then is it going to load the table. This click just loads it. So if you can see here, those of you who missed out the UI part of it, these are the check boxes which you need to check whatever data you wanted to load, and this is lying on the left hand side. And once you are done with that, you have to press on create. Once you press on the create, the data would be loaded into the data flow. Now, this is the place where you can do your transformation. See, the data is getting loaded into its own temporary space. Now, you have not mentioned where to load it, how to manage it, and all those. We were not doing that in the Power BI world also. Here also, we are not doing anything, though any of those manage. Fabric ecosystem is going to take care of that. Okay, and now you see very similar UI. Those of you are from the Power BI world, you will be very much familiar here. We have get data, we have enter data to manually enter the data. We have options, manage parameter. We can have additional parameters where we can control the data. We have this, add destination. This is something new, add destination, where we'll be able to say, you want to save it to Azure SQL database, you want to save it to Lakehouse, you want to save it to Azure Explorer Custo, you want to save it to Azure Synapse Analytics SQL DW. You can decide the target. Now we have choose columns, remove columns. All those are same as Power Query. Those who work on the Power Query can use it. Otherwise, you can watch my 11-hour Power BI video where I have explained all these things. We will create a separate video to take some of you who are not very much familiar with the Power Query world. We will take you through all these options and have some videos in the Fabric ecosystem also. Now what I need to do is, because I've already created file where I don't have the spaces in the name, and the lake is not going to take it. Warehouse will be able to take it. That's what my understanding is, that it can take the space name with the spaces, but Lakehouse will not be able to. So I've removed it. You will see all the names not having a space. If something is remaining, just go ahead and change it. And that's what I'm doing right now. I'm checking it out. Now here also, if you see, there is no space, and geography, there's no space. Now what I'm going to do next is I'm going to create few columns, and this is the full-fledged model where I work with. So I need to do that. Now there is no DAX calculated column. Suppose that I need to create the measures. So I need to do all my transformation in the data flows. And if I'm not able to do in the data flow, then I need to take the read write data lake warehouse to do that. And I'll tell you, if you are unable to do that, we're going to bring different kind of data, and we'll play around with that. So let's get ahead and start creating the new columns. So Power Query world people knows, but those of you are new to this ecosystem, there is a option add columns, which is lying here. Click on that add column, very intuitive UI. Then you have to click on the custom column. Click on the custom column. Here, first thing, you have to give the name here, and you have to write down the formula here. And in the formula, you have to use the already available name, or you can use some static values, and all those you can do. So now let's write down, I'm going to call it gross amount. Again, I'm not going to give a space here right now. And I can choose data type. This is something new which I'm seeing here, because this is something which is not available in the desktop, at least till the last month version. So now we have this data type, and I'm creating gross as a whole number, but I can actually definitely create it as a percentage. Now what I need to do here is basically I need to say quantity multiply by price. So this is my gross sales. Quantity multiplied by price is my gross sales, and I'm calling it as gross amount, and I'm click on OK, and it's going to add a new column. So I'm adding a calculation here. I'm doing the transformation. I have done the load part of it into right now into the data flow. It's still not loaded to Lakehouse. The final destination is not yet there, but I'm doing the transformation. Okay, I'm going to create one more, which is nothing but COGS amount. And I always believe the multiplication should be done at the line level, and that's the reason whenever I see opportunity to remove multiplication, I does it. But as long as these formulas can work at the petabyte scale within the major also, you can do it. But that's my personal preference, that any multiplication need to be done at line level. I preferably do all the calculation at the time of loading. I don't leave it for the majors to do all the calculation. But yes, it's really powerful tool. You can leave certain calculation for there. But here the formula for the cost amount is cost multiplied by quantity. So previous one was the quantity multiplied by the price. If you can see, this one is cost multiplied by what is cost? Basically, I'm selling at the price. But what is my cost price? Now cost price is not purchase price. It is this purchase price, transportation cost, inventory carrying cost, all the cost which you incur to keep this item with you, to purchase and keep it with you. That is the cost, and it can directly give you margin. The beauty about the cost of goods sold, that it can directly give you the margin by subtraction, which is not possible in case of purchase price, because that doesn't include inventory carrying and managing cost and all those. Okay, so I got the gross amount, I got the COGS amount. One more column I'm going to create it, and post that we are going to make sure that our data types are in line with the data types which are supported for the lake. So go to the custom, and here I'm going to add another column which is discount amount. And in the discount amount, I'm going to multiply the gross amount which I already created. See, the one which I created here, I'm now using that, and multiply it by the discount percentage. Very simple formulas I'm creating. You can do much more complex tasks. If you are the user who are watching my channel, you might have seen how complex calculation we can do in Power Query. We have discussed each and every function. Think about all those power is coming to you for transformation here in the complete ecosystem. Amazing power has been given to you. Okay, so now we are ready. Now I'm going to tell you there are few data types which are not supported. And before I come and change it, let me show you how do you know what is supported and not supported. So I can't click on the sales table right now. See that I've clicked on the sales table, and I have this option which I've already shown you in the home page. This is also available here at destination. So I'm going to use it from as destination from here, the button, but I've shown you on the top also in the home tab, and it says Lakehouse none. Right now it is showing me the destination is Lakehouse. It means the Lakehouse is supported right now. And the next, and it shows me my all workspaces. I say I want to go to the Fabric workspace, and in the Fabric workspace, where I wanted to go, Lakehouse demo one. That this data flow staging Lakehouse right now, don't use it. This is the staging one right now showing, and they might hide this one very soon. This is the one which is automatically getting created because I loaded the data right now. Now press on the next. Now you will see here, these two are not checked. Why these two are not checked? Because date is not supported as a data type right now in the lake. So we have to use date type. So I'm going to change these two data types. So I click here. Now I can go ahead and change here. This is the first place. Please see it out here. This is the first place I can change it, and this is the second place I can change it. Both the places I can change it. So simple ways, click here and do date time. And same thing I'm going to do here. And Power Query is really smart. If you do two things together, it's going to update the same one. Okay, so both are date time. Now we are going to try that option. Now option is again here. I've shown you destination. You can have the lake house here, and then let me try out that again to do that. Now sales table. Now 01 fabric is the one. I knowingly kept the name 01 fabric because it's going to appear on the top. That's the reason. You might be asking why is doing the 01. The advantage of 01 is it's appear on the top. So is it replace or append? In my case, I want to replace. Every time I load it, I just want to replace it. I don't want to append it. Now there is a problem with the discount amount. And why there is a problem with the discount amount? If you remember, when I created the discount amount, I have not given the data type. And that is why the discount amount is not showing. Now it is not going to show like this. I have to go to this step. Now if you see in this step, last step, there is a difference. So when I created the COGS amount, it's showing the COGS amount added column, and then there is a data type which has been there. Now here, when I added the discount amount, I have not done it. So let me double click on this discount percentage. Or I can go ahead and change the data type. So let me change this data type now. Let me click on the last step. Now you should do it always on the last step. So now my data types are correct, and I'm expecting that it will allow me to save all my columns in the lakehouse. So let's do it once more. Now again, let's take lakehouse. Fabric, 01 fabric, choose the destination, next. Now everything is correct, ready to go. Save settings, replace, save setting. And look at the UI improvements which are happening. You will observe those who are the Power Query users or Dataflow users, you will see a lot of many such enhancements which are there to make it more and more user friendly and business user friendly. It's not that only technical user can work it. So sales is already all set. And how do you know that you will be able to see it here? The destination should be visible here. So that is why I'm saying I'm all set for sale, but not for other tables. I have to do for each and every table. Right now, there is no mechanism I can do it for together. At least I have not figured it out right now. So let me go here, click on the plus button, Lakehouse, next. And we have to actually check all the column and everything is correct. So I think better to at least first time check everything is, data types and everything is correct. There's no space and everything. Again, it is showing all the same whole numbers, text, data type, save setting. Now this is going to be really quick. Means we just need to check everything is going, and then we just need to make sure, okay. Go on the right top here, data destination. Okay, destination is there, ready to go. Let's click on geography. This time I can use from home tab, add destination from the top. Lakehouse, geography, fabric, save setting. So this is also done. I can see on the right bottom. Now let's go to item. Let's use again from the top, Lakehouse. Next, item fabric, 01 fabric, Lakehouse demo 1. Next, save setting. Any setting you are doubtful, you can open and check. Let's say I forgot what I've done in geography. So I click on the geography and go here and wait for the tooltip to appear. So once you see the tooltip, and I'll show you here, hopefully the tooltip remains. So tooltip is not remaining. I'm not able to highlight that. But so this is the tooltip which you can see. Lakehouse workspace is 01 fabric, Lakehouse table 1. So I do, and the update type methodology is update. So I don't have to, go back and again look at that configuration. I can simply click on the table, go here, and it will show me all the information. So all the information is available here only. Okay. So I'm satisfied with this information. The next thing which I need to do is there is a publish button below. As you can see below, there is a publish button. I'm going to press that. Those of you are not able to see, let me draw an arrow. So from the arrow, go till down, place here, publish. And it's going to take a little bit of time now. Once you do that, and it's not going to load the data. So those who are from the Power BI world, those who have used the data flow in the past, they know that this is only going to save it to the staging area. It's not going to load the data. This is not going to load the data in the lake house. We need to explicitly run the refresh after it is done. Okay. So this is going to take few more seconds to load it, and you will be able to see this. Those of you not able to find where it is, let me highlight that. So this is right now, you might be seeing this refresh icon roaming around here. Those of you already observed, and let's see. Now the refresh icon is not roaming around. It seems like it has already been done. Now I can see this refresh icon, refresh now. Now before I do that, let me show you. I can delete it. I can edit it. I can export it as a JSON, the definitions, the properties. I can see the property, tooltip size, and inside preview and all those. Then I have this refresh history, which I'm interested in. I want to see whether I refreshed it or not. And I can schedule it, and the schedule refresh should happen. Then I have the settings. Settings is, data source credential, which I don't need in this case. Sensitivity label, refresh. I can schedule the refresh. That is what I was telling you. And then endorsement, basically, if you want to endorse it to the users. Now this is all set. I need to refresh it. So I can click on refresh now, or I can go here and there's no option here. So I have to use this option only. And then there is the icon schedule refresh here. Okay. So let's click on the refresh. And once you click on the refresh here, you will be able to see this is rotating. So here the rotating icon is there. Now to, if this icon is not there and if you're not sure what has happened, typically if it error out, it's going to show you here. Okay, it's going to show you that here, but otherwise refresh history is something which you can open and monitor it. Now if it's little bit time consuming, it's always good that you come and look at here. Sometime if you refresh the screen or you go out and come back, it might not show you. So it may take a few seconds depending on the data and the kind of capacity. I'm on a trial capacity. I'm not on the P1 kind of a capacity. Now there are different kind of licenses which are there, uh, which uh, which is available very similar to what we have in Power BI. There are different kind of licenses. Based on that, you will get the capacity. Now I am on the trial capacity, so let it finish, and then we will go ahead and see what we get in Lakehouse, what we get in the Lakehouse SQL point, what we get in the Lakehouse dataset. So those three things we have to see. So data has been loaded successfully. No more icon is appearing, but just to make sure, I click on these three dot, I go to refresh, and in the refresh, as you can see, there is one line appearing, and that line is showing me success. And if I have some schedule refresh, I should be able to see it here. And go back to the workspace. In the workspace, now I will go back to the lake house, and I will like to see how does it look like in my lake house. So you can see tables and unidentified 4 tables. If I click on the customer, you can see the data packet format, and right now it is right now converting it into the tables, and that's why you're able to see those delta packet files. So the process is on unable to identify objects in tables. So this sometime it may take a little bit of time to support both the things. So the files are getting saved as delta packet format. It's still generating the table view, so it may take a little bit of time. Once it is loaded properly, you will be able to see it like tables, and you will be able to preview the data. If you further click on this, you will be able to see the columns also. So this is how the display will change once everything get loaded. You can right click on each and every table and can see view files, and that will show you the delta packet file which we were seeing initially. If you want to know the properties of the file, you can right click and say click on properties, and you will be able to get the absolute path. Now this path might be sometime important if you try to access it from outside. So all the tables are available here, and right now we have not loaded any file. That's why you are not seeing in any other thing in the files. And we can continue to analyze this data. So we can jump on the SQL endpoint and can see how it looks like there. So I go to the SQL endpoints. And in the SQL endpoint, I'm able to see it. So I'm able to see the data tables here. Now, once I'm able to see it in SQL endpoint, it means they are available for query. And let's see, we converted certain data types and converting it. So those operations should work. Okay. So now why don't we go ahead and run a query here? So on the sales table, let's say select star from sales. I have 30,000 rows. I decided I'm going to query all of them. Here you go. Save as table, download as Excel file, visualize result. You can visualize it here. You don't need to go anywhere. Okay. Will not do it here. Let's see. Now let's write down a little bit complex query. So let's say I want to see item brand. So I have item table. So I say sales. And those of you who are from SQL world knows inner join. We will go to Power BI. Don't worry if you don't understand that. Inner join. Item on let me call it as S, and let me call this as I. S dot item ID equals to I dot item ID. So now let's add some more things here. I change my select I dot brand, and I need to make sure the column names are same. That's something we have to make sure. And some S dot gross amount. Now when it stops suggesting, this is something which I am a little bit worried about. So item is I capital. Now I pressed enter and do run the query, but let me, it should not run actually. Basically I want simple enter, and I say group by I dot brand, and let's see after that. I just need to make sure the column names are same. S dot gross amount. So let's just quickly check it how we have written it. GROSS AMOUNT. Let me put, okay, I have used the capital S here. Now this is really case sensitive, okay? SQL Server guys, you are going to have difficult time here. Bingo, the results are here, okay, and I have not renamed it, so let me put it as gross. And why I have done it here, because I'm going to do the same thing in Power BI also. So I'm now going to open one more, and I'm going to say app.powerbi.com. I have done the results in SQL, so I can get it pretty much using SQL. I go to the 01 Fabric workspace, and I have a data set here, default data set, isn't it? And I can see the default data set here. Now the relationships are not yet created. So to do that, there is no option open model here. The model option is lying here itself. If I can click here model, it's going to show me the model, and I will be able to create the model. So I went back to the warehouse view, the SQL endpoint view, and in the SQL endpoint view, I'm able to see this. I can close these properties. This is very familiar to your data model view, okay? The data model view on the desktop, and some of you might have seen this in the service also. Very recently it has been supported here, edit models. So let's pull it here. Now one thing which you have to do here basically right now is drag it from the many side to one side. If I remember correctly, there was one issue, so I drag it from many side to one side, customer, many to one join. By default it's creating many to one, and it was giving me error when I tried out last. The issue might have been resolved, but many to one is something which I'm going to, and assume referential integrity is something I'm not using right now. Okay, but I can use, my data is like that, okay? So if you want, you can do it. So customer ID to customer ID join, I've done it. So the way to do it, click on a column, drag and drop it on the other column. Okay, so two joins are created. The third one is city ID. Let me find out where's the city ID. So city ID is on the top, drag and drop. And those of you from the Power BI world, you know that whenever we join on the key column, it stops showing the aggregations on those, and all those things are happening. All those internal things very similar to what you are seeing is already happening. Now this is the model. It has refreshed and showing it like this. Let me little bit do the adjustment. My perfect star schema is ready. I am ready to analyze. So from here itself, the SQL view, I can create, say, new report, and remember the query which we have run there. Now the only thing which I have done after the loading is I created a relationship. I ran a query in SQL, I created a relationship in Power BI, and everything is here. And the only thing I'm going to do right now is drag this brand and drag this gross amount, and we know by default the column is sum. I'm even not creating a major right now, and this is almost the same result. Now let's go ahead and see there. Now brand 1, brand 10, all those things we have to see. Now here, where is our SQL query? We go, and I am going down and click on the SQL. So I clicked it here from here, not from the top create new query. Okay, I clicked it here. Now my result is there, and I need to use an order by clause. If you see, my results is not sorted the way I wanted there, but let me do it here. I press control enter. I have a bad habit of pressing shift enter and control enter, which is not the case here. Order by, let's do one brand. So I just want to compare the data, and I always have this bad habit of comparing. Without comparison, I don't believe in 476019. But those who are working with me for some time on my demos, videos, and everything, they know that this is the same data we are getting here. Both the side it's same. Now let's create a measure if required. Now measure, where I want to go to create the measure. So you go to the model view again. You go to the model view here. This is my model view, and here you are getting the option for new measure. So what is the measure I'm going to create? I'm going to create gross, which is nothing but sum of gross sales gross amount. So I'm jumping between the screen. So I came back to the model screen again in the UI, which is the UI for the warehouse. In the warehouse UI, below I have an option for, and this is the warehouse which is getting generated, the read only SQL endpoint, which I'm getting, and I'm creating a gross here. I press, so I got a new measure. I'm going to create few measures, which I always usually do. So I'm going to create gross, then I'm press new. I'm going to create one more measure, which is discount. Which is nothing but sum of discount amount. Then I'm going to create one more measure, which is net. It is showing something to me by default, but I'm not bothered right now about that. Now I need to see Power BI gross minus. Now let us see is my measures are getting created or not. So I can see discount. I don't see gross measure somewhere. Let me see if the gross is created or not. Gross is not created, isn't it? So we got discount. Let's press escape, new measure. It has some kind of its own auto suggestion. Hold on. I selected this, then I press this button, then I commit it. Okay, unable to sync warehouse Power BI. Some reports or measure may not be displayed. It's not able to commit. Let me make it as gross one, because maybe it's already created, not visible to us. Okay, so it's not able to sync. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come out of this view. Okay, let me go back to the fabric. Okay, fine. Let's go. Let's leave it. Let's go to the SQL endpoint again, and let's see what has been created. And let's do one thing. Let's create. Um, let's leave that here. Now we'll go to the open model again. Some issue was happening at that time. Let's see. In the items table, I'm able to see both gross item discount I'm able to see and gross, but it did not got saved properly, so the definitions are not correct. So let's say sum of discount amount, and let's try to commit it now. We have to make sure there is no error. Now there is no error right now. And sum of gross amount, so both are correct now. So now see, if you face some kind of this kind of error, just come out, go back and come out, make sure that it's not giving any error like it's not able to save. Okay, new environment, you can face certain kind of challenges like this. And as you know, because you might be seeing why I'm creating in item table. Those are Power BI guys who we know, we can change the home table always. I can move it to sales. Okay, and then I can go to the gross and I can again move it to sales. I need to press apply button. I think I'm missing that. Okay, let's do one thing. Let's press it. Let's come out and let's go to the Fabric. Okay. So some error is happening, but let's go to the Power BI dataset and see, and let's say refresh it. And here I am able to see discount and gross. Let's see we are getting anything or not. So I'm getting discount, I'm getting gross, and it's the same number. So I'm able to create the measures out there. And the moment I create the measures, they are displayed here. So you can create as many models as you want in your model, and you can do it. So same way, what I'm going to do is I'm going to create net, I'm going to put discount amount and all those things, and I will be able to do tasks. And those of you who worked with me in the past, and those of you who worked on the desktop with the same file, you know how quickly it gives the results in desktop. And you might have observed the same speed it is. So don't compare this connection with your, direct query connection. That's not the way. This is it altogether directly connection, which is already been created for us, and we are using it. I have a save button here. The separately created report, I can call it as report 2, and then I can save it. Report saved. And what the first time what happens in Power BI app version, if you save the report, it is going to ask you to, it will take you to the read only mode, and then you have to again come back. So you can save the report like that. Your analysis is complete, and you can go ahead and play around with the more things. Now some of you might ask, how do I use in Power BI Desktop? You love Power BI Desktop, isn't it? So you would like to have it in Power BI Desktop, isn't it? So let's open Power BI Desktop. So I'm going to open Power BI Desktop, and let us see the new driver which has come, or the new connection which has come for us to have this. Okay. So once Power BI is open, I'm waiting for Power BI to open. Now Power BI is on your screen, and we will try the new Lakehouse connection. I am not signed in, so I have to actually sign in. So my Power BI is not signed in, so I have to sign in. I need to give my email address. So let me do one thing. Let me take it to another screen, log in and come back. So log in, give the email ID. It will throw a pop-up, where in the pop-up is going to ask you your password and all those stuff. And once you are done with that, is going to log in it into your account. And once you are able to log in into your account, it is going to show you the name here. Now let's go and say get data, and in the get data we are going to click on more, and after I click on the more, I'll go ahead and ask for a new connector of Lakehouse. The Microsoft Fabric preview, we have the option Lakehouse preview. Okay, and we have warehouse data marts. Let's click on connect. So what is the option I have? Lakehouse demo 1, which is the Fabric dataset, Lakehouse demo 101 Fabric. That's what I'm going to use. In the connect, I have two options: connect using SQL endpoint or connect. I'm going to prefer the connect, not the SQL endpoint right now. And it gives me the dataset, just like that. That's interesting, isn't it? The same model. Now we can check it out, no problems. And it is giving me option to create measure. How easy to manage it from here, isn't it? We are Power BI guys. We love this, isn't it? But it's not showing me the definition from here. So basically, if I'm going to create anything here, that's going to be the measure in my file. That's not going to be going back to that data set. That's like live connection. So this is very similar to live connection, which I've done. So if I want, I can create new measures here. But right now what I'm going to do is I'm going to create the same report on my desktop. I am connected with my Lakehouse brand and gross 1. Here you go. Here is your answer. Put on the discount amount very quickly. Now you start getting the answer. So seamless integration We have seen how quickly. Now, I only loaded data to Lakehouse, and post that I was having a data set. I just created a relationship. I'm ready to go here. Transformation in done in data flow. So it means before landing my data, I able to do the transformation and load it to my Lakehouse. And the moment it is in the Lakehouse, I can go to the SQL endpoint. I can query. I'm a SQL guy. I prefer there. There is a visualize option there. I can explore that. I can go to the Power BI and do it. So it's all together seamlessly integrated with all those things which you are seeing so far, with different tools, different storage format and all those. So now the last thing we are going to see here, we come back to the SQL endpoint. We look at what query we have. We can write down the new queries. So or we can download the data. So let's say you right click here and your favorite query, select top 100 rows. Okay, and you have the result. Now this is not giving me option right now, so to download or save in Excel, let's run some other query here. Sales S, this time it does give me, so I can download it in Excel, copy it. I say continue. Let's see what happens. File is opened. File could not be opened in protected view. Let's go ahead and see in the download. Now if I'm not logged in into the same account, it may give me the issue. Trying it out again. It's opening on the other screen. I'm just going to show you there. I need to say enable content. And this is just not the download. It is actually a connection. That's interesting. Okay. So it's not able to authenticate. So I need to say Microsoft account. I need to say sign in. Let's see how does it happens. I've logged in. Let me see. Let me say connect. We are live connected to Lakehouse in Excel. And the moment data change is there, I refresh this and I'm done. What else you need? Integration, Power BI, integration, Excel. What a smooth journey for a data analyst, for a developer, a SQL developer, a Power BI developer, as a business analyst. Visualize the result. Let's see what it has to offer to us. A very familiar Power BI UI. What else you need? Okay. We'll say, okay, we need sales date and quantity. And let's create a trend. And I can save this as a report. And then I can further go ahead and modify it. Isn't it? Same visualization. So many options has been integrated in the single UI. We can keep on exploring those. So let me save it as a report. The first time I did not save it, and let me call this report 1, and we say save. Okay, something went wrong. Your report is saved. Okay, the first one it did not save, but second time when I pressed, I think it saved. Let me cross it. Let's go to the Fabric 01 and let's see. And we say discard the changes. SQL changes I'm discarding. Let's see, do I have a report here? I don't see report here. Doesn't seems like it got saved. Oh, it got saved. And now I can go to the edit and I can add pages and I can do all those stuff. So I've shown you, I have shown you how to get the data into the lake house and how can you utilize it. So Lakehouse we got using the data flow, we created the Power BI report. So go ahead and try that out and do let me know what else you want me to cover in this series for Microsoft Fabric. Thanks for watching this video. Thank you.